Last week, we put liquid paper on a bee, and it died.
Probably a bad idea. Liquid paper, though. I mean, why not? Why not? Hope you guys are having a great day. I don't know why I played that. It just seemed hilarious, okay? I was going to start off with this.
I didn't do fucking shit.
Because I'm dealing with a technical issue. It's so simple, but it's annoying. I have a ring light. You guys know ring lights. It's for if you're doing basically anything with video chat or video stream, stuff like that. And it's normally on a different setting. Today it's on a different setting. So if you're watching the video, I don't know if I look tanner or if I just look terrible. I can't tell. But it flickers every now and then if I have it in the other setting. But then as I started doing this, it started flickering in this setting. So if all of a sudden it starts strobing out on me, I might have a seizure. I don't know. I don't want to make fun of that because I know several people that have that. I can't even think what that's called right now. But where they go into an epileptic seizure. I think I said that wrong. If they see flashing lights. Hopefully that doesn't happen to me. Hopefully boy, this got really weird to start the show. I'm sorry. Holy crap. What's happening?
Do I give a fuck?
Well, that's not helping me either. What's happening to me? I got to tell you guys this real quick. Quick jerk of the wheel. Back on track. I am at Skate City last night. It's a roller skating thing. They're having some school function for my kids. We're there. We start talking to one of the kids' friends' parents, right? We're just chit-chatting, blah, 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 right? I bring up as a comparison for a kid that is nice to the parents but is kind of a dick / shady individual when the parents aren't around. I said it's like that one kid, Leave It to Beaver's brother's buddy, whatever his name was. And the parents I'm talking to are just like, huh? Leave It to Beaver? I don't know any of those characters. And then my wife is looking at me and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I'm not that much older than you. I'm 2 years older than my wife. And then the lady that I'm talking to, the mom, says, she goes, well, how old are you? And I'm like, reluctantly that I had to tell her. I'm like, I'm 45. And she's like, whoa, God, you're old. And I'm like, well, how old are you? And then she said she's 37. And what I wanted to say is, that's a rough 37. But I didn't. I didn't want to be too much of a dick. I mean, you just said, whoa, shit, you're old. Yeah. But I got the maturity level of a teenager. So there's that. Okay? God.
What a bitch.
What's funny is I think she listens to the show. I'm obviously kidding. You're not a bitch. I thought it was funny, and I had to share it. It's funny. I as I'm saying the Leave It to Beaver thing, I'm like, I don't even know. I just remember when I was growing up, we didn't have cable, so we just watched reruns of whatever the fuck was on TV. In Colorado, if you wanted to watch sports during the week, it was, WGN or something like that they had. And we used to watch, the only baseball on TV at the time was the Cubs for some fucking reason. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. I just don't know what it is. That's part of the reason why there's so many Cubs fans here in Colorado, is before the Colorado Rockies, all we were exposed to on television was the Cubs. But we didn't have cable growing up. That was for them rich folk, okay? We had just basic TV, antenna TV. And whatever was on TV, the old reruns of Leave It to Beaver, Andy Griffith, all that nonsense horseshit shows, that's what I was forced to fucking watch. It was either that or play Legos, Okay? Played Legos a lot. Then once we got a Nintendo, that's what we did. Okay? But I had a moment where I was forced to watch that nonsense. So as I'm telling that story to them, I'm just like, or not even really a story, I'm just like making a comparison. And I'm just like, this sounds so fucking old. So fucking old. God damn it. I immediately regretted saying what I said, but has that ever happened to you? Where you're just like, shit, they're way too young. And then the husband's like 32. He definitely didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Holy crap. Ugh, God, makes me feel dirty. Fucking dickheads. This is my brain like 2 seconds into the comparison.
This is fucked.
I'm like, oh no. I did it. I done did it. Oh my God, I made a mistake.
Right, as always.
God damn it, Ken! Always chiming in at the wrong time. You were good for so long. Now you're just stabbing me in the back. Motherfucker. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. A lot to get into on this show. Gonna share via request from a listener. I'm going to share some of the greatest, weirdest stories from my years of covering the Super Bowl. That's going to be a lot of fun. It involves a lot of iconic names from the sports world as well as the Colorado broadcasting world. So that's going to be fun. Some names have been changed, okay? Some have. We'll get into that. Hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening or watching. Make sure you click on the like button as well. Remember, today's show is brought to you by BetOnline. The biggest betting weekend is finally here. And you know what that means? There's more odds. There's more updated odds and props for this Super Bowl. Or excuse me. I didn't say that. I didn't say that word. I didn't say those keywords together. This Super Sunday. It is super. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. They have hundreds of prop bets, MVP odds. I'll get into some of those a little bit later. And exclusive in-game live betting. BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline offers you everything and more to enhance your game day experience. Visit betonline.ag right now and make the game day action count a little bit more. It's BetOnline. The game starts here. By the way, there's a couple more days left where MHS, Mile High Sports, is going to be out in New Orleans covering Super Bowl week. I know they talked to Solomon Wilcots. They talked to Mike Golick. I believe they're going to be talking to Brian Billick. A lot of great insight. And let's be honest, they're a Colorado-based sports group, so they're going to be talking a lot about the Broncos. What's the national perspective of the Denver Broncos? Tune in to MHS today. Sean Drotar, Nate Lundy are going to be out there, as well as Anilo and Danny. They're having some good conversations with some big-name people, figuring out what is the next move for the Denver Broncos. I saw Sean Payton yesterday doing an interview with, Kay Adams. And one, he says that, they're going to be a problem for the rest of the NFL. And I see that on the horizon with the Denver Broncos. That was fun to see. But they're also looking for these joker cards, these guys that are just so impactful for their team and looking to upgrade, to build up their team. They have the quarterback. Like I've been saying, they got the quarterback now. That's a huge weight off their shoulders. They're also experiencing some financial relief. So that's good. Broncos are going to be a problem, as I would say they're legit contenders for AFC championship, at least in 2 years. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So there's a lot of great coverage out there. So make sure you tune in to MHS today. Follow them on social media at Mile High Sports. But what we need to do right now, let's jump into some headlines.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
We kind of discussed this before, and now it's becoming ultra popular with the rich fuckers out there. This is what the headline reads. Youth chasers, people that just can't give up the fact that they're getting old. I don't understand that. I think a woman is beautiful when they have wrinkles. I mean, maybe not too many wrinkles, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I think it's weird when you see somebody that has like super plasticky face because they're constantly getting injections or having surgeries. It's just not attractive. They got like there's some lady that got her lips tattooed because she wanted them to look like she always had lipstick on or something like that. And then she got a bad reaction and her lips fucking ballooned up. It's disgusting. You guys are so desperate to say fuck you to Father Time that you're fucking up your own body. It's fucking bizarre. Look at Pamela Anderson. She finally said, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm not even going to wear makeup anymore." And you know what? She's still hot. Okay? Good for her. Take the hit, people. You don't need to be, plastering your face with all this gunk. We're going to get to that here in a second. Just to make people think you're attractive. How about this? Work on your personality. That's a good thing. Nobody wants to date or be around somebody that's an asshole all the time. Try not to be a prick. I'm just saying. Just saying. The reason I bring that up is, like I said, these people are really making this balloon up. They're injecting. I think before, when I read this, they were just smearing it on their face. Now they're injecting trout and salmon sperm in their faces instead of the traditional fillers. And apparently the results have been dramatic. Come on, people. Why? Stop. You realize that this is going to be one of those things in like a year. They're going to be like, whoo. Remember that trend where people are having, they were jacking off trouts and sperm or trouts and salmon and then injecting the sperm in their faces? Apparently that was a bad idea. Now they got fish growing out of their faces. Oh my God. It's just ridiculous. How stupid is that? Could you imagine the scientists that come up with that idea? They're like, sir, please, can I have your ear for just a moment? Sure, go ahead. What's on your mind, Todd? Well, I was thinking, what are your thoughts on jacking off a trout? Been there, Todd. Been there. I like where your head's at. Let's go for this thing. The hell, man. God dang, Todd.
Go fuck another fish, asshole.
I've heard, I actually know a lady. I met her like 15 years ago. She's still connected to our family. But she's all about the semen on the face thing because it tightens up her skin or whatever. It is just fucking gross. No. The science was discovered in the porn industry. It had to have been in regards to that. But when you go to the fish thing, who's the sick fuck that's just like, I have an idea, let's jack off a fish, and then not just put it on her face, let's just start injecting it into our face. Come on, people. Come on. Honey, you look great. What's going on? You look so much younger. What's your secret? Well, Mom, I go and jack off trout and salmon and then have it injected into my face. Oh my God, honey, that's disgusting. You're a terrible person. My God. Look, you're welcome, folks. Now, this is 2 days in a row where we have a disgusting fish story. What are the odds? What are the odds? They're both sexual in nature. All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. Ferrari reportedly is threatening to blacklist super rich buyers who customize their cars with strange designs. Well, you know what, Ferrari? Guess what? Not going to buy a Ferrari now. I'm driving my good old-fashioned Honda Accord, a.k.a. Freedom Car. Son of a bitch, man. I've heard that Ferrari's been doing that for years, where they're ultra tight on if you buy it, you can't do modifications to it in any sort, or they do this. This isn't technically new news. Why would you want to buy something where they won't let you make it your own, where you're still attached to them? It's not like I'm going to be in this position anyway financially. But if I was, I would want, and if I had the money to do so, look at as much as I bag on the Cybertrucks, and I think they're douchey. But could you imagine if Dickhead McGee, Elon Musk was just like, you can buy it, but you can't do anything to it. Can't put a wrap on that shitty paint. That there is none. It's a stainless steel. Can't do that. Well, that would be annoying because like everybody's like, yeah, I don't like the weird stainless steel look, so they're wrapping it. That would be frustrating. It's your car. You just put a buttload of money into getting it. Let them do whatever the fuck they want to do it. Spray paint an 8 on the side. I don't know. That's ridiculous. Again, those are rich people problems. But if you're going to do it, if you're going to buy first of all, if you were going to buy a sports car, what one would you get? I would like to get probably in the 70s. I thought the balls, the just pure balls of the vehicles, the sports cars were just the muscle cars, I should say, in the 70s. I just love the look of those. Like a mid-70s Camaro. Camaro is like the car that I'm like, wow, I love the look of that. Here's the thing. I'm not somebody that I'm a Ford guy or I'm a Chevy guy, or whatever. I just love the look of a Camaro. Camaro just is fucking ballsy. I love it. And let's be honest, there's some really fucking cool cars out there. And also, what's neat is my son's 11, about to be 12. We're already looking ahead to what's your first vehicle going to be? And we're leaning towards like maybe an early 80s pickup truck. That's what we want. That's what he wants. And I think that's a great idea because when you pop the hood on those things, you guys know, you pop the hood on those things, it's a little bit more manageable to learn what's under there. It's a good beginner vehicle so you can learn how to do the maintenance on your vehicle, whether it's a simple oil change or changing out the alternator or changing belts, whatever. Stuff like that. That's the great thing about vehicles like that. And it's also a lot cheaper. I don't want my kids to have a super expensive car for their first vehicle. One, I'm cheap as fuck. And two, that's just the way it goes. My first vehicle, before we continue on, sorry, I'm derailing this. My first vehicle was an 83 Buick Skylark. It's a short one. Everybody thinks that I'm talking about like a big old boat. No, it wasn't. And 4-door, but it was just small. I bought it from my sister for I bought it from her for $200. And I did everything I could and cleaned it up, learned how to change. I would in my driveway, I would take wheels off and just practice changing tires. I did that. It was a great first car. Traded that in and ended up getting an 84 Chevy S10. I love that thing. And same thing, I would practice changing tires. My stepdad showed me how to change out the brakes. We did that. And it was just a good beginner car. Those are the things when you get your kid a car. The way I look at it, get them an older car. Fuck up on that thing. I mean, if you're gonna break it, break a piece of shit versus something that is expensive. Because you open the hoods now on cars, it's really intimidating. Unless you're a mechanic. If you're a mechanic, you see that shit every day. And some of you, it might still be a little intimidating. Like, Jesus Christ, could you smash anything else in here? Like, I remember popping the hood on my. I have pictures somewhere of my old. I was 16. I was taking pictures of the motor and stuff like that. And it's like you could see the ground in some spots. You can't see the ground in my car now. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Anyway, fuck you, Ferrari. Fuck you. My Honda Accord. I'll take my Honda Accord any day over Ferrari. Fuck Ferrari. Yeah. Control freaks. I told you guys I hate public proposals. This is going into that category. But it has an asterisk next to it because it really drives me nuts. A pilot proposed to his girlfriend mid-flight in a heartwarming video. How about you get back to work and fly the fucking plane? My God. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to stop doing your job? You know, where you're flying a metal tube full of people so you can propose to your girlfriend. How about we wait till we touch down, okay? How about that, dick fuck? My God. I'm sorry. Don't like it. Don't like it. Yes, I'm a bit of a Grinch when it comes to that shit. You're working. You're working. Do it after. That's just a total... I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm a dick. Oh, but it's love, honey. Honey, look at them. Oh, they're in love. Oh. Pilots are real people, too. I never said they weren't. Never said they weren't. I just don't give a fuck when I'm flying. I don't want to see my pilot. I know there's 2 pilots in there. I don't want to see the co-pilot out there going, honey, will you make me the happiest man on this planet? No. I would love for this story to go where she says, you know what? Can we wait till you land, please? Fucking God. That would make me so happy. Shouldn't you be working? Oh, it'd be great. It would be great. It would never happen because people are too big of pussies. But it would make me so happy if I found out that he got reprimanded. You're suspended for a week with no pay for leaving your post in lollygagging. That would be hilarious. I got written up for proposing to my girlfriend. Well, you were at work. I mean, you stopped doing your job. Get it? Okay? Huh? I can't be cooking burgers and then stop during my shift in the middle of a lunch rush and propose to my girlfriend. Okay? Guess what? Those burgers ain't gonna make themselves. Okay? You can't co-pilot a plane if you ain't co-piloting the plane. If you're dicking around and proposing to your girlfriend. Hey, everybody, look at me. Make sure you're rolling on this one. It's going to be good. Get back to flying the plane, dickhead. Somebody's going to listen to that and go, oh, my God, he is so mean. He's so mean. I'm going to give him a 1-star review. See. Oh, gosh. You know what we need to do? Sorry. Let's jump into some sports.
Going deep, tight ends and long balls.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Oh, gross!
It's sports with the Huff.
before we get into the Super Bowl preview, a lot that goes on during the Super Bowl week is you hear a lot from Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell came out, I want to say yesterday, and said, if there's I think the fans want an 18th game. Well, the NFLPA Players Association came out and said no one wants to play an 18th game. Guess what? You say that now, you start throwing more money at the players and giving them more incentive financially to play that 18th game. Guess what? They're going to do it. I don't think they should from a player's safety perspective because, Roger Goodell's essentially saying it'll be fine. It'll be fine. What's the big deal? Well, if you look at it, especially let's look at an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman's perspective or a running back when they get the ball, is you're in a car crash. Maybe not a like a 40-mile-an-hour car crash, but it's still it's in an accident. It's a low-level car accident. Every single fucking play. Oh, it's no big deal. What's one more game? We did the stats. It'll be fine. Is it though? Don't think it is. It doesn't. Your math doesn't math. Okay, you can't add an extra game and say it's fine. There's no extra risk. Yes, there is. It's an extra game with extra plays. From looking at it from if my son or my daughter was in a high impact sport like that, and all of a sudden the powers that be were like, we're going to add on more games. And if I knew that it was a high potential for injury sport, it would make me nervous. Especially the younger they are, because that could jeopardize their future. I think if you're going to do that, you need to lower the amount of years, because what is it? You become fully vested or something like that, where you get full retirement benefits if you play 5 years. They need to lower that because they're adding more games, make it 3 years, something like that. And then that kind of at least softens the blow, kind of, where financially after you're done, if you get hurt after your third year, you're at least somewhat financially set and covered by medical bills, and you get the insurance that the NFL provides and stuff. So me as a fan, I want the 18th game. I know it's hypocritical, but that as a fan, I want to see more action. That's the way it goes. So, do you think the NFL should add an 18th game? I'm saying yes. Yes. But if they don't, I don't think it's the end of the world. But just know that if they're already talking about it, and if Roger Goodell is already saying, we did the math, and it seems like it'll be fine, that they're in the works of doing it. It's not going to be next year. It'll be in a couple years. That's just the way it's going to be. It's funny. My guy, Jimmy, always is sending me stuff on a daily basis, whether it's the NFL, basketball, hockey, stuff like that. He's always sending me stuff from Bet Online when it comes to the bets that they do. Now, before we go into the quick preview, I'm going to tell you the post-game bets that you can make through Bet Online. One is, will any player retire on the field after the game? I hope it's Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. That would be fantastic. Come on, be better people. Retire. I could see, of all the people, I could see Travis Kelce. I mean, look at it from a human being perspective. it seems like he's found love in Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? Like, if they're indeed madly in love, he's accomplished a lot. If they win, especially, that's a three-peat. That's a very extremely difficult thing to do. He made a butt ton of money. He's going to make even more money after he retires. Plus, his body will thank him as soon as he retires because he's not putting extra wear and tear on it. And then he can focus on being in love and doing that. So I could see that. Listen, forget the fact that he's a Chief. I don't like the Chiefs. I'm a Broncos fan. But from a human perspective, I mean, what else do you have to prove after that? Why not go out on top? I think that would be cool. I don't see Patrick Mahomes retiring. That doesn't make any sense. Will Andy Reid retire? I hope so. I hope so. He's a good fucking coach. Get him out of the AFC West. Jesus. He's really good. And he seems like an amazing human being. Again, a lot of these guys, it's like, as far as coaches go, what are you going to do when you're retired? They're so, like Mike Shanahan, been retired for a long time. He still is helping out his son, Kyle, and doing other things. Like, he's all in on football still. So it's a matter of, what would Andy Reid do once he retires? I mean, these guys eat, breathe, shit football as a coach. So that would be interesting to see if he did. I don't think he does. Will any player propose to their girlfriend or boyfriend? I could see Travis Kelce doing that, especially, can you bundle these? Because I would like to see him retire and then propose to Taylor Swift. Okay? Oh my God, talk about a royal wedding. That would be, if he retired and they get married, that would be like the royals getting married. That's what it would be. You know, it'd be so extravagant. Somebody would try to get the video rights to it. It would be insane. It'd be sponsored by all these things. Crazy. There'd be goodie bags for everybody invited. Stupid. I could see that. It does happen where players do propose. I believe it happened last year. Again, not a fan of the public proposals, but that would be, come on, that would be interesting. That's the only one I'd care about if it was Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. But then we'd be getting Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce overload. Oh my God. Will any player be seen smoking a cigar on the field? I don't think so on the field. That's usually a locker room thing. What will Travis Kelce say first on field? Damn, hell, party, beer, Taylor, State Farm? That's so dumb. You can bet on those. Will any ref do a jersey swap with Patrick Mahomes? Oh my God, that would be hilarious. It would be hard not to have so much respect for Patrick Mahomes if he did a jersey swap with a referee, right? I could set aside the fact that I'm a Bronco fan and he's a Chief. Ugh, gross, dirty Chiefs. If they did that, holy crap, that would be comedy gold. Gold. I'd be so happy. Bet Online also has the top 5 MVP most bet. So who are the top players that people are betting to win the MVP? Number 4, Travis Kelce. Number 3, Jalen Hurts. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. And number 1, Saquon Barkley. I would love to see Barkley win it. He's only, I forgot to put the numbers on there. He's, I want to say like 50 yards-ish from beating the all-time record for most rushing yards in a season, including postseason, surpassing Terrell Davis of the Denver Broncos. That would be cool. He's going to get it. You can also bet how long of a run will he have. Will he have more than one 50-yard run during the game. So it's neat to see all those different type of bets. Again, go to betonline.ag and see all the different things that they're going to be letting you bet on. It's fun. I think it's a neat thing to do. Speaking of the Eagles, Vic Fangio, former Denver Bronco head coach, now defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's a crusty old dude in a sense, not horribly crusty, but he's very blunt, old school dude. He did a thing with the Eagles social media, and it's hilarious. I cut up some of the best parts. Here you go.
What has been the best and worst food towns in your coaching career? Well, Philly's one of the best. San Francisco and Chicago are one of the best. Indianapolis is one of the worst.
What about Indy's food sucks?
Just too bland. What advice would you give a young coach early in his or her career? Consider another profession. Do you have notebooks with decades of observations and ideas? What do those look like? I have a rule. I don't keep anything past 3 years.
Is there a reason you came up with the 3-year rule?
It's about all my office could fit. I'm not a pack rat in that regard. Can you explain your famous meatball recipe? I can, but then I'd have to kill you. I don't share it with anybody.
I like that. He's funny, dude. You know what, though? He's not sitting there trying to be a goofball. It's just him, okay? And to be honest, when you go back and listen to that, it's not like he's being super silly, but I mean, he is who he is. I think that's cool. In a weird way, I'm rooting for him. I didn't really have very many ill feelings towards Vic Fangio. I think ultimately he was a product of the environment here of that there just wasn't good enough talent, complete talent around him. And it goes back to just because you're a good coordinator doesn't mean that you're going to be a good head coach. In fact, I would say he's a great coordinator. Doesn't mean it's going to translate into you being a decent head coach. So somebody like him, I believe he said that he's planning, this is his last stop in coaching. So once he decides to leave Philly, he's done with coaching. And good for him. Good for him. Obviously, where was that? The big thing, where the fuck did that go? No! Okay, there we go. If you look at the game coming up, it's going to be an interesting one. These two teams met before, 2 years ago, something like that. It's not going to be like when I shared that story of when I covered Super Bowl 50, Broncos versus the Panthers. The Broncos had been in the Super Bowl 2 years prior where they got their ass stomped by the Seahawks. And I told you that Monday before the game on Sunday, the Broncos were all set to whoop some ass. They had one job to do, and that was to beat the shit out of the Panthers, and that's what they did. Whereas when I spoke to the Panthers that Monday prior to Super Bowl Sunday, the Panthers were already acting like they won the game. They're planning their trips. They can't wait for, drinking beer on the floats. And I told Sandy Clough, who was on the air at 104.3 The Fan, the Broncos are going to win this game. They got it. Okay? Because they were locked in and the Panthers weren't. Here's the thing with this game. This game has the ability, I'll say it, this game is going to be a bloodbath. It's going to go back and forth. I don't see one team being ill-prepared. This game is going to be tight. Barkley is going to be the key to the Eagles winning the game. If they can get him hot, I say the Eagles win this thing by at least a touchdown. I've been saying it all season. I feel like the Chiefs are a bit of a fraud, but that being said, their fraudulent ways have got them into the Super Bowl. And if any team can elevate their play at the right moments, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. This game is going to be fun to watch as long as the refs call a clean game. And it's really hard not to look at it that way. But I see the Eagles walking away with this one in a close match. If I were to go to betonline.ag right now, I'd put money on the Eagles to win. And I would say that the MVP, Saquon Barkley, I would love for him to do it. As much as I hate to see Terrell Davis lose a record, I want him to do well. I think Barkley is just a fun guy to watch because anytime he gets the ball, you just don't know what's going to happen. Now, it's not as crazy and wild as when Barry Sanders would get the ball because you're like, there could be a swarm of defenders on him. Next thing you know, he's popping out backwards and then just he doesn't do that. He just runs motherfuckers over. That's what Barkley does. And next thing, and he's got the speed. I want the Eagles to win. And I would put money on that. I say Eagles win this one, and Chiefs fight, but they just don't make it. In a twisted way, I want the Chiefs to win in a twisted way because I think that will motivate individuals on that team to retire, Kelce, and that ultimately would be better in the long run if they did it. It would be very frustrating if the Chiefs won because you Chiefs fans are going to be so annoying. You know it. It's fine. I have some Chiefs fans that I interact with on social media. I respect you. I respect the team. And it would be hard not to be annoying if you were a Chiefs fan and your team just won 3 Super Bowls back to back to back. It would be hard not to be annoying. You got every right to brag if you do that. But in order to break up the dynasty, they might have to win. Because let's be honest, the Chiefs are the best fucking team on the planet right now when it comes to football. It's disgusting for me to say that, yes. But that's just the truth. So, as much as I want the Eagles to win, and I think they'll win, it might be better if the Chiefs win this one and knock off the Eagles. But, I think the best soundbite to go for this and ultimately who I think's going to win.
E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
The Philly mayor. Come on. If the Eagles win, I'm playing that on Monday. I am. Okay? Sorry, it's not going to die quite yet. I was going through my audio to set up, what different clips I want to play for this show. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't played this. One of my favorite Super Bowl moments. As a Denver Bronco fan, I remember exactly where I was when I heard this. I was working at Safeway in Broomfield. The store's now closed, but I was on the location on 120th and Main Street in Broomfield. We're all upstairs gathered around a TV. I was kind of near the back of the room. There was one lady working downstairs. She was so pissed that everybody was upstairs. But we're all watching it. We're all Bronco fans up there. When this moment happened, I got chills, goosebumps. And I remember my eyes started to tear up because I was like, there is a vibe. There is a feeling. This is different. The Broncos had been to so many Super Bowls prior. This is it. The Broncos are going to beat the Packers. What was that moment?
3rd and 6, 11th play of this drive. Elway barks the signals, goes back to throw. Now looks to take off and run. Elway inside the 10, and dives over the 5-yard line. What a great play. Great play by John Elway. Just phenomenal.
Ooh, right. Super Bowl 32. John Elway doing that helicopter play. Somewhat of a busted play. He runs off to the right, scrambles, and dives. When you see a man of that age that had been beat up by the game dive head first, and then he gets up and gives like a point, like, yeah, motherfucker type of thing. You're like, I remember looking around the room and we're all wide-eyed. Holy crap, the Broncos got this. And sure as shit, the Denver Broncos won Super Bowl 32. They came back the next year and won Super Bowl 33 against the Falcons. I believe if Elway would have came back for the next season, they would have won 3 in a row. They were a well-oiled machine. But it was one of those things where I think ultimately for his body, Elway made the right decision. You go out on top. You won back-to-back Super Bowls. It's fantastic. Not a lot of people can say that. So that was really neat. Speaking of neat, let's jump into the mailbag.
Mailbag. You've got mail.
This comes in from Greg W. He said, DeHuff, can you share some of your favorite times covering the Super Bowl? Thank you, Greg. By the way, if you want to be like Greg and participate in the show, you can hit me up on my socials at DeHuff Podcast, or you can get me on my email, DeHuffPodcast@gmail.com. That's how Greg did it. It's amazing. There's so many different things, and I'll probably leave some stuff out. My very first Super Bowl, I told you, was actually in New Orleans, covering that Super Bowl between the Ravens and the 49ers. And it was a tough week. I had already shared with you guys earlier this week that there was when I got high in the streets of New Orleans in the middle of the night with some NFL legends. That was fun. But one of those days, I think it might have been like, I want to say Tuesday of that week, because I got high on Thursday. On Tuesday of that week, I couldn't sleep. I was sharing a room with my boss and his buddy, and my boss had a bed, I had a bed, his buddy had a cot. And I'm in the middle, basically, of these guys, and they're both snoring, and I couldn't sleep. Again, I was the morning show guy. I had to be up and ready to get things ready to go on Radio Row. I'm already stressed out because it's like I got a whole, because it was 6 a.m. If you looked at it from Denver time, it was 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. that I was working. And I was booking all the shows, and it's not just at the moment, it's trying to get the next day booked too. And it was just a lot of walking. It was exhausting. It was a lot of quote unquote harassing people. Hey, like I said, Emmett Smith took me like 3 days of begging to get him on the show, because it was every single time I saw the guy that was handling Emmett Smith, I was like, hey, any room for Emmett today? And then I finally wore him down, and we got him on. And I got Barry Sanders, I got all these other guys, right? So it was a very stressful week. But on Tuesday, I couldn't sleep. There's a casino just down the road, so it's like 2:00 in the morning. Dumb idea, hindsight. I get up, and I'm just gonna walk around. Dumb, I know. And I end up, I'm walking to the casino, and I see this guy. I'm like, oh, he looks familiar. Huh, he's got 2 ladies on his arm. They're 2 prostitutes, right? This guy, and I'm like, oh, he's a big name broadcaster with 2 prostitutes on each side of him. I'm like, what the fuck? And I thought that was kind of funny. But what's funny is, like, he walks past me, right? And he gives me the nod up of like, I'm about to go bang 2 prostitutes. Right? So I thought that was kind of funny, whatever. And fast forward to that Friday, I see that guy, and guess who's with him? His wife. I'm like, oh no! Should I tell her about crotch critters? Cause that dude's getting freaky with two freaking prostitutes, ladies of the evening, if you will, working ladies. Okay, I thought that was funny. I'm not going to tell you who that was, but you buy me some drinks, I'll tell you. Okay. Also in New Orleans, we're hanging out with D-Mac, who's with Altitude 92.5 now. But we're at some bar, some jazz bar, hanging out. We're about to start the evening, right? D-Mac comes and sits next to me along with everybody else, but he's right next to me. He's like, I can't find my phone. Well, where'd you leave it? Well, I left it in the bathroom charging. Why would you leave your phone in the bathroom charging? Unattended. Why didn't they get blah, 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 blah. The dumbest thing. It was either, I thought it was in the bathroom, although he did tell me, I talked to him, I want to say last year around this time, and he swears it was at the bar. Either way, you don't leave your phone unattended in public and then go back for it and be shocked that it's not there. So then he ends up using my cell phone, texting his phone. He's having a conversation with the dude that stole his phone. Please give it back. Please give it back. He never got it back. What a dumbass. And then at that same bar, this is classic D-Mac, he just eventually was just like, fuck it. Shit went crazy. Don't have my cell phone. I'm going to have a good time. He goes up on the stage because they asked, hey, anybody want to play with us? And he ends up playing that thing, whatever, like the washboard thing that goes on your chest. And then he's like playing spoons on it. They ended up having to kick him off stage. It's so funny. So funny. Listen, I know D-Mac rubs a lot of people the wrong way. He does. That's just him. Okay? Ultimately, deep down, he's a good dude. And he's fun to hang out with. Extremely talented person. We were in Houston once hanging out, and we're walking through a convention center. There's some random piano there. D-Mac sits down, starts tickling the ivories. Really fucking good. We're like, holy shit, this guy. We ended up losing D-Mac. We couldn't find him for like, say, 3 hours. Then all of a sudden we ran into him out of the blue. But we were trying to keep everybody together. And then next thing you know, we couldn't find him. We're like, where's D-Mac? I don't know. He doesn't have a phone, can't call him. So that was fun. When I covered Super Bowl 50, these are going to be way out of order, and I apologize. I was at Super Bowl 50, and Mike Evans and I, one thing that we try to do when you go to a new city, even for you, like if you're traveling for work, if you have the ability, if you have some free time, you want to go see something. I covered Army, Navy. I had to at least see one cool thing, saw the Liberty Bell, got a picture with it. Pretty cool. Mike and I are in San Francisco. We hopped on a ferry, went to Alcatraz. That was fascinating. But the best thing that we saw, it's not on video, would have been interesting to get on video, but we met a real life Rain Man. This guy, you could ask him anything. And Mike asked, we didn't know who this guy was. He was just a guy working there at Alcatraz. And Mike asked him something about blah, 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 whatever it was. And the guy goes, oh, yes, definitely, blah, 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 blah. Maybe he didn't say, oh, definitely, yeah. My dad says I'm a good driver. He didn't say stuff like that. But he's like, where are you guys from? And then we're like, well, we're from the Denver area. And he's like, yes, Denver. And then he starts listing restaurants with like 5-star reviews and giving like rough, addresses to it. We're like, are you from Denver? No. He's like, you can give me any place and he'll tell you. And Mike said something about somewhere back in Massachusetts where Mike grew up. Ah, yes. And then he would go and tell you all this stuff. It was wild. So crazy. So unique. Nice dude. Nice dude. Steel trap of a memory. He's probably autistic, I think, where he retains information. Super good dude. And the fact that he was in a historical environment, I think was really neat because you could ask him anything about what was going on and he can just regurgitate the information to you. That was fascinating. Alcatraz was cool. Somewhere he and I did some shitty video of me escaping Alcatraz. It was so dumb, so dumb. What was it? Oh yeah, when we got to San Fran, we went to the convention center, got our credentials, did everything. We're coming out. My kids are calling me on a video chat. I'm in the streets of San Francisco, and they're having me show them around and stuff. All of a sudden, this dude, as I'm obviously on the phone, comes up to me and he's like, I wrote down what he said. Hey man, you want some Cali greens? He was trying to sell me weed. And I'm like, no, man, I'm from fucking Colorado. We got weed too. Oh my God, it's so random. And he was just like I kicked him in the dick. Be like, what? Fucking Colorado and your marijuana. Now California's not special. Was it really ever special though? Was it? When we were in Minnesota, we were so bored in Minnesota because it was so freaking cold. We didn't want to do anything. We got done with the show. I was sharing a room with Mike Evans and Mark Schlereth, Stink, if you don't know his nickname. And I was like, they're like, what do you want to do after a show? I was like, I don't know, maybe we shoot some videos or something. And then I start talking to Alfred Williams. And I was like, guys, I'll just meet you back at the hotel room. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. So I walk around because we were broadcasting from the Mall of America. And I'm walking around talking to Al. And he had to go end up doing his show. And I was like, all right, man, I'll talk to you later. So I'm all turned around. And this was the most heavily secured Super Bowl that I've ever worked at. I mean, they had military vehicles everywhere. It was really cool. I never felt safer covering a Super Bowl than the one in Minnesota. They did a good job. And their presence was known, and I liked it. But my way, because it was later in the week, my normal route was compromised. They blocked it off, and they're like, well, you're going to have to go this way now. So I'm like walking through the, -5 degree weather, trying to get back to the hotel. It ends up making me about 45 minutes between the conversation with Alfred and being detoured. It's about 45 minutes past when Schlereth and Evans got to the hotel room. I get to the hotel room. I open the door. To the left would be where Mike's room was. To the right is where Schlereth and I were sharing a room. He had a bed. I had a bed. I open the door, and I look to my right, and I hear Schlereth go, hello, lover. Listen, we're guys. We joke around. I look over, and he's giggling like a little fucking kid. A giant little kid. He's giggling. Why? Because he had put the remote under the covers where his crotch was to make it look like he had an erection. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, I fell to my knees laughing, especially when he says, I've been sitting this way for like 40 minutes. It was so hilarious. So hilarious. Like an underappreciated joke to some. To me, that's going to be a lasting memory that I have with Mark Schlereth. Also in that room is the infamous video where I said I'll have to find that video and retweet it or something like that. It's where I do a video. Again, we were bored, and this was the birth of us doing random videos. It was the video where I said what it takes to produce Schlereth and Evans, and it's me, tucking them in bed, and Mike Evans throws hot water on my face, and Mark spits. Because Mark's big thing is, are you whole milk or are you skim milk? Because you want to be somebody that's whole milk. So I'm giving him some milk to go to bed, and he spits it in my face. This is all pre-planned. It's not like he's just an asshole and just like, I'm gonna spit in his face. But he's like, this is 2%. I asked for whole milk, something like that. We did 2 takes on that. The first time, we all started laughing. I have the blooper of that. It's hilarious. In fact, I'll probably just tweet that one out because that's funnier in my mind. And then what's funny too is I want to say we did that on Monday or Tuesday night, something like that. When we're leaving on Friday, I think it was, I'm packing up my stuff and I look at the wall where we had done the spit take scene, and I'm like, oh my God, Schlereth. I was like, you got to look at the wall. It looked like a CSI situation. Like you put a black light on there and it's like, oh my God, some guy blew his load everywhere. That's what it looked like. It was so fucking funny. And again, a lot of laughter. Dude, I got to be honest, working with those guys, it was constant laughing to the point where the next day there'd be times where I'd be like, God, my stomach is sore. Have you ever done that where you hang out with your friends and the next day your stomach is sore because you're just laughing? That's what it was for me hanging out with those guys and coming up with fun videos and doing random silly things. And I think that translated into why our ratings were so high at the time is just unheard of numbers in Colorado radio. I mean, we were dominating the fuck out of everybody in mornings. And it was because we had that relationship. We understood how everybody's mind worked. When we would sit down and come up with a video, there was a video where Mark is pretending to interview the Funko Pop, whatever, head of Tom Brady. And Mark has always jokingly had an obsession with Tom Brady. And Mark is pretending to be in a bathrobe interviewing Tom Brady. And then, like, we're shooting it. And then, like, we didn't actually have a bathrobe. We had a towel. And it dropped a couple times. And all of a sudden, Mark's nipples showing. We didn't use that clip because we'd get in trouble by our company. But it was just so fucking funny. I still have that in my head of Mark, his nipple showing, and and the look on his face of him going, ooh, oh. We just had a blast doing that. Let's see. When we were in Atlanta, there was an infamous ice storm that was barely a sheet of ice, but it shut down the city. That was mind-blowing, but they're just not used to it out in Atlanta. Also in Atlanta, there was a moment where there was a Hooters on our way in between our hotel and the convention center. So we're like, let's just eat at Hooters. We know it's good food, and that's what we did. We ate there 3 or 4 times that week. And Mike Evans is a foodie. And they had on one of the days, it was like bottomless wings or something like that. And we all ordered a basket, and I think each basket had like 5 wings in it. I got through 1.5, but I was like, I'm kind of full. Mark maybe had 1 basket. Mike Evans had 2, but wanted 3. And I remember him going, are you guys going to get any more? And he has like sauce on his face. And Mark and I look at Mike and we're like, if you want another one, you can, but we're like kind of judging him, and he's just like a little kid, like, "Oh, I guess I won't." Like we peer pressured him into not eating any more food, but not like we weren't being dicks about it. So that was fun. In Miami, there was a bathtub scene where I did a video with Mark Schlereth because we're quote unquote saving the environment by bathing together. That was a funny video. Um, one of the coolest things though is I'll always remember this one. I want to say this might have been Atlanta too. Is we're in Alfred's room, Alfred Williams' room, because he designates it the lounge. We're in there, and it's Mark Schlereth, Alfred Williams, Mike Pritchard, 3 former football players, great players, and then there's Mike Evans and myself. We're like the 2 media guys. And mostly Alfred and Schlereth are sharing Super Bowl stories. They're talking about their bugaboos, the guys that always got them, like, these random individuals that were, no matter how good of a player they were themselves, there was always this one player that gave them the shits, essentially. Like they would always get their number, stuff like that. That was fun. I have a picture somewhere of Mike Evans, his arms up in the air because Alfred's showing him like some move. I gotta find that. Hopefully I can add this to the video. But it was just so much fun. So much fun. So random. That was, I hope he doesn't get mad at me for saying this, but that was the night that Schlereth, he drank a decent amount. And keep in mind, Mark is a big dude. He's not fat. He's very strong. Former offensive lineman. Any former offensive lineman, they're fucking strong. They're more country strong than gym strong. And I'm walking him back to his room. That's kind of the role as a producer. You got to take care of your guys. I'm walking him back to his room. He's giggling up a storm, right? And at one point, because I knew that I had to be conscious and fully aware the next morning. So I stopped drinking to make sure that, I woke up. And he is walking down the hall and he starts leaning and he like leans on me almost throwing me into the wall. But I remember his hands, both hands were like on one, like say his right hand was on the top of my shoulder. His left hand was more around my bicep. And I just remember him like holding on to me because he kind of was falling a little bit and he's laughing. I remember this. I'll always remember this. I was like, holy shit, that motherfucker's strong. I am pretty confident that he could have ripped my arm off at that moment and just beat the hell out of me with it because he's that strong. I know a lot of people want to bag on, he's retired. He's been, dude is fucking strong and he's probably stronger now. And that's scary, but that was fun. He woke up the next day, you would never even known that he was a little tipsy the night before. Like, Jesus Christ, I'd be dragging ass. So many fun stories. And ultimately, it was great. Super Bowl week is always special to me because I had the opportunity to hang out with some great guys, individuals that sometimes when you see people on TV or hear them on the radio, you're like, what are they really like? I can honestly tell you, of all the people I talked about today on this show, Mark Schlereth, great dude, amazing human being. Alfred Williams, same thing, great person, amazing human being. Mike Pritchard, I love Mike Pritchard, great dude. Not as crazy as the other guys, but I can sit down and have a great conversation with Pritch. Like I'll call him up every now and then and we'll just start. We don't talk sports. We're like talking about like random goofy movies or some shit. I love that. Mike Evans, great dude. D-Mac rubs people the wrong way. Ultimately, a good dude. Just so many great people, so many great memories from Super Bowl week, and just who knows what the future holds. But those were some of my fondest memories. Is covering the Super Bowl, hanging out with the guys, and just seeing just things from a different angle. It was so much fun. Hopefully, this didn't bore you too much to pieces, but I think it's fun. Greg W, thank you so much for reaching out and asking for that, because that was fun for me to go down memory lane with you guys. And I probably left out a lot of fun things that I'll just remember throughout the week. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining the show. Hit the like button if you could, please. That helps so much. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Big thanks to Bet Online. Go check them out at betonline.ag. I'm going with, if I had to put money on it, I'm saying the Eagles, but God, twisted way. I kind of want the Chiefs to win. Ugh. Because long term it would be better for the Broncos. I don't know. I'm so confused right now. I got to go get a shot in my knee. What is that? Cortisone, whatever. So hopefully that'll be painless and fun. I don't know how it's going to go. It should be fun. Maybe not. Anyway, you guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. Sorry it went on so long. You guys are fantastic. Hopefully you smiled in this episode. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.